Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you how to make your first custom post type. In this particular example, we're going to create a team section using secure custom fields. Alright, so in a previous video, we talked about adding a new field group and adding fields to create a team member profile. Now, in this video, we're going to show you how to navigate to the Post Types tab of SCF and the purpose of custom post types and how to create a new team member post type that's ready to be filled with data. So let's get started, and we're here on our dashboard, and let's talk about why we'd want to have a custom post type. Now, in a previous video, we have gone over and created some custom fields. And let's go ahead and view our page and then click on Edit Page. And you can see that our problem in the previous video was that although we did have our fields here, there was no way to display them. And this profile info fields area just appears on the whole website as well. Now, one thing we could do is create posts, and then for each individual post, we're going to be inputting each one of these, and then we can display on here using dynamic text or a query loop or one of the special blocks that Nextr has or whatever theme that you want to use. But the problem is we don't want to mix our posts and our pages with our team members because we want to keep those things separate, and having tags and categories just simply won't be enough. So in order to get around this, let's go ahead and create a new custom post type. So under our dashboard on the left-hand sidebar down here, we have SCF, and in a previous video, we showed you how to find and install that. And the first tab is going to be the field groups. And let's take a quick look again at our field group that we made in the previous video, which is our job title, member name, and the different fields that come with it. And they are equal to page. This field will show if the post type is equal to page. And you can see here we have a few different options to choose from. You can see book, we already have one here from a previous video. And this is what we're going to use to create each individual profile using our custom post type. So over here on the top, you see SCF, we have the field groups where we are right now, and we have post types. Let's click on that. And you can see where you have one called books from a different one, a different video. Let's go ahead and click on Add New. And it's going to take us to this page. Well, this area over here. So let's go ahead and put in our plural label and call this team members. And then the singular label will be team member. And then our post type key will be team member. Okay. And then taxonomies. Now, for example, if we had a bunch of posts about books or gadgets or whatever topic it is, we can go ahead and put it in over here, and then we can create a new custom post type based on those. Okay, we want to make sure it's public so it's visible in the front end and in our dashboard over here. And let's click on advanced configuration, and you can go ahead and click and unclick whatever you want here. We can also add custom ones. We'll make sure it's active. And then under labels, this should be good. Don't really have to worry about that right now. For visibility, we can change our icon over here. You can see the books is a pin icon over here. So let's go ahead and click on this like pro users icon just to keep this organized. And then let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put it on 4, and then it probably should end up on the 4th or 5th spot over here, or probably 3rd. We can also use a custom icon if we wanted to, just to keep things easy to look at. We can show it in the admin bar, which is this. exclude from search. All right. And then over here, URLs, we're going to want to enable archive, and we're going to call this archive team. Okay, so that when we enter over here, our website assets archive/team, it's going to be the archive display for each one of our team members. Okay, and with that said, let's go ahead and click on Save Changes, and you'll see we now have, oh, I guess that's number 4 over there. You can say we now have our team members area. Okay, now we can link the field group over to here. So we put in our staff profile info and click on done. Okay, now it's closed that and it's successfully linked. Now let's go back to our field group over here and make sure that our field group will now only display on our team members area. So is equal to team member, and if yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so let's save the changes and let's reload this, and it shouldn't appear now on our home page, our editing area over here, or editor area, I should say. We'll scroll down and you can see that the fields no longer appear over here. So let's close this and let's head back to our dashboard. And now let's click on team members. Now you can see we have this area which looks a lot like our posts area, as you can see. But instead of having posts, it's like instead of saying add post, we can add a team member. Now let's click on that, and now we'll be taken to our team member area over here. And here we can put in our data or info with our fields. And you can see that the fields appear on this area rather than on the home page or any other page for that matter. All right, so in the previous video, we added this area called member name or staff member name, but we don't really need to once we now have our custom post type. So as you can see, since we have our icon over here, basically what the title is going to be our team member name. So let's go ahead and add one, Lucy Davies, and we can add our job title for her over here, CEO, and we don't have to input this. Now we can either use a staff headshot field over here, or we can set the featured image. But for this example over here, we're going to set the featured image to be her profile picture. So let's select this one, and then her portfolio link will be over here. And then let's put some lorem ipsum, and then we can format it and then make it look really pretty. And then some of these could be not italics, you know, you name it. We can center this up if we wanted to. We can change the formatting, and then we can set her as a featured member. Yes. Okay. And now once we click on publish, let's go ahead and take a look at how it looks like. So you can see here, instead of view post or view site, it's going to say view team member. And here is our team member. So as you can see, it's not really formatted in a nice way, and it doesn't actually display everything in here. So one thing that we could do is we could either use a query loop, or in this case, since we're using Nexter and we have advanced typography, we can go ahead and lay this out, and our text content over here will be, as you can see, versus just a simple paragraph, is, well, we can use a dynamic field for this. So we can put on here a job title, right? Or we can just use the dynamic text. So for instance, let's go ahead and use the bottom text over here, which is going to be the bio. All right. And then we can format that accordingly. Versus if we used a simple paragraph over here, it's just going to be some basic text, right? So well, that's one cool thing about having Premium or Pro. And in fact, there's some free themes out there that give you blocks that let you use this dynamic content. And you can see over here, we have videos on each one of these blocks. But you can see with the little pancake icon over here, we have some advanced settings also if we wanted to put it over there. But our dynamic field, you can see we can select it from any of these areas. So again, for this paragraph area, we're using the staff bio. And over here for the title, we're going to be using down here, job title. And then over here, we're going to be using the post title. So it's going to be her name over there. And then we can format this however which way we want, right? There you go. And then for style or layout, let's center this. And then for style for the title, let's go ahead and change the typography to Helvetica, make it a big font size. And we'll just keep it simple like that. So we have, one last thing over here is we have our portfolio link. So let's go ahead and add a new, advanced typography. And then we'll set this as the portfolio link. And then we can make it link or whatever we want. And let's save this. And with that saved, let's go ahead and reload her profile. And you can see this is how her profile looks like, and it's pulling these dynamically. So let's go ahead and make another one, just as an example. But this time, we're only going to fill in the fields. So let's add a team member. And we're going to be using Nexter's theme builder to create a post template so that we don't have to manually edit in each one of our posts. So a while ago, in order to display this, we had to go into editor and manually put in the blocks for the names, the title, and this and that. But if you think about it, it's really no different than manually typing them out. So what we're going to want to do is just make it the same way. Give our post a title. And then give it our post title being someone's name, and then giving it an image, okay, a profile photo. Maybe, is this big enough? Yeah, that should be fine. And down here, we'll give her a job title, CFO, member name, staff headshot. Let's go ahead and put this in as her link as well. And then for her bio over here, we can format it as like that. Turn it into quote and make it bold and publish this. Now, as you know, if we were to view this, none of these items that we have over here will show up. So in order to, in a way, automate this, we're going to go ahead and enter the Nexter extension and then click on Theme Builder, okay, where we will enter the Theme Builder. Let's click on Add New Template. Let's select singular team member individual. And let's include all team members. And we're going to be using all team members, okay? there we go. We're going to be using Lucy's. Let's create this. And then now, this is going to be where we want to put in our dynamic text blocks. So over here, we had to manually input it. So in a way, let's go ahead and reverse this order just so you can see how different things are going to be. So over here, we're going to put in our post image. Okay, and there you go. That's where it's pulling it from. We're going to center this, make it medium, and that should be fine. Next, let's add in a, shall we put a container over here, flexbox 2. And then here, we're going to add in our paragraph for here and our paragraph for here. So here, we're going to input, well, our content is going to be, our title is going to be her name. So it's going to be our post title, right? So it's, oops. Okay, and if this doesn't work later on, we're going to go ahead and change it, but I'm thinking it's only pulling post title because we're in the editor at the moment. And if we were to let's take a look at it. Let's go ahead and publish this and view the template. Okay, let's reload this and see if there's any changes. Okay, there we go. You can see it's starting to change, and there's a very marked difference between the last one and then this one. And okay, so with that set, let's go ahead and change the paragraph to her staff bio. Okay, and it's not going to display because this is just a template. And then over here, we can put in the staff, well, the portfolio link for, oh wait, no. Over here, we want the portfolio link. Portfolio link, and then over here for paragraph, we want to put in our job title. Okay, you can see it's all blank at the moment, but again, it's pulling this data because it doesn't appear on here on the theme builder area. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and if you need to go back and forth between all of these, you can see that this is where the settings are going to be. And with the post updated, let's go ahead and reload this. And you can see, oops, we kind of put that the other way around, excuse me. Our folio link should be at the bottom, and then our title is going to be the job title. Okay, save, and then reload this. Okay, there we go. And this is how all of our team members are going to be looking like, well, when we pull them up. So let's go ahead and view Jenny Miller's. And by default, we didn't even have to go in and manually add these in. We have her name, her designation, her portfolio link, and her bio over here, and we didn't have to manually add that in. So that's kind of what makes SCF, custom fields, and custom post types really neat, as well as integrating it with a theme like Nexter, which gives you the ability to create post type templates so that we don't have to manually add everything in. All we have to do is go into the team member post type and, or well, team member post type over here, add a new team member or edit it. And once we go into edit it, you can see we don't actually need to put any blocks over here. We have the name as the title, the featured image, which is their profile photo, or we can use one of the fields over here and just edit all of these or add and subtract them from our fields accordingly. And that makes it so much easier to manage the content on our site. Okay, so similarly, if we went to our team area, which is the archive name that we set earlier, you can see it just displays them as posts. So if we wanted to set this up in a very cool way, we could go ahead and create a new template for our archive over here. So let's go ahead and enter the Nextr extension, theme builder, and let's add a new template. Oops, is this the right thing? Nope. Add new template for, okay, there we go. We have this modal pop up. And let's go ahead and click on archives. We'll call this team member archive. Next. And then we're going to include it in default team members archive. And we're going to take a look at these. Team members archive and then uncategorized. Okay, all. And that should be good. Okay, and now it's going to take us to the block editor over here. And now we have a bunch of videos on the Nextr theme builder and taking a look at each one of the kinds of templates that you can make. But we're going to gloss over it here real quick. And we're going to put in our post listings. Okay, drag and drop that over here. And we're going to be taking a look at team members, select post type, and that's what it's going to display. And archive page, and then we can choose different styles here. Okay, and we can show the post category or change the layout over here, make it a grid or a carousel. We only have two. And we can change the date and the author. For the query, we can change taxonomies, like categories and tags, but we'll take a look at this in a later video. And then for columns, we can set that up. We can show an excerpt of the content, but these don't have any, as you can see. And yeah, we can set it up like that. We can change the featured image to have no hover effect or have a hover effect over here. We can change the box background, carousel options for sliding, but we don't have more than two. And post meta over here, just the post title. Let's go ahead and change this to a different font. Let's make it bigger and let's make it bold if it would become bold. And then for the color, let's make it white. Okay. And we can customize the template if we wanted to, but let's just stick with this one over here. And let's go ahead and put in our advanced typography over here. And then we're going to change this to, you know what, let's not even use dynamic content. Let's just center this and call this meet our okay, we'll publish this. And then now we can view the archive and you can see, well, this is just a template, okay? And if we were to reload our team members area, you can see that we have set this up accordingly. And, you know, we can switch between the two when we only have two. We can put this in a container to shrink this up. If we wanted to add other things, such as breadcrumbs, for example, we'll put that up there. We can change how it looks like. We'll align that up to the middle. We'll save that. We can add a multitude of other things as well. I'll just reload this and you can see that our team member area has now changed. Okay, so this is custom post types is a great way to immediately organize specific pieces of information or data. In this example, our team members, and here in our archive, we can go ahead and take a look at each individual team member. We'll hit back, and then this is organized dynamically because we're pulling our information from our team members. Otherwise, we'd have to go to posts, and then we'll have to use categories. We'll have to use categories and tags just to do that. So having the custom post types really helps us organize our archive a bit easier. And again, as you've seen earlier, having the custom fields helps us input each individual data point or data set for each one of our members. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you want to know where to get the blocks that we used in this video to make forms real simple, real easy, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to the website of Nexter where you can get the Nexter blocks yourself. Now, if you check out the pricing, they have 3 different levels: starter, professional, and studio. We recommend getting the studio one because it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime. You get all the blocks, so you don't have to worry about not having the right blocks to get what you need done. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.